Welcome to EnfinityCast. Today we're looking at how history can pivot on the smallest of things. Not a crown or a declaration, but an animal. Specifically, a semi-aquatic rodent whose pelt reshaped a continent. We're talking about the beaver. And to help us navigate these historical rapids, I'm joined by the brilliant Lex Calder. Welcome, Lex.
Thanks for having me, Elias. It's a fascinating and often brutal story. To understand it, you have to start in 17th century Europe, where a specific fashion craze was raging, the beaver felt hat. Beaver fur has these tiny, unique barbs that allow it to be matted into a dense, waterproof, and incredibly durable felt. It was the peak of luxury and function, and Europe had already hunted its own beaver population to near extinction.
So the old world looks to the new, and this demand for what they called soft gold becomes the primary engine for the exploration of North America. More than the search for gold or a passage to Asia, the quest for beaver pelts pushed European trappers and traders, the famous French coureurs de bois, or runners of the woods, deeper and deeper into the wilderness, mapping rivers and establishing posts in territories previously unknown to them.
Exactly. And this wasn't a one-way street. The trade fundamentally reordered indigenous societies. European traders didn't hunt the beavers themselves, at least not initially. They created vast trade networks with indigenous nations exchanging pelts for manufactured goods like iron kettles, textiles, and, most consequentially, firearms. This created new dependencies, shifted traditional power balances between tribes, and introduced intense, technologically advanced warfare over control of fur-rich territories.
This escalation is terrifying to consider. We see conflicts like the Beaver Wars in the mid-17th century, where the Iroquois Confederacy, armed by the Dutch and English, fought ferociously against their neighbors to monopolize the fur trade. It was a proxy war fueled by European demand. But the devastation wasn't just social, it was ecological, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Beavers are what we call a keystone species, or an ecosystem engineer. Their dams create vast wetlands, which act as habitats for countless other species of plants, fish, birds, and mammals. They regulate water flow, prevent droughts, and filter pollutants. When you remove millions of beavers from the landscape over 2 centuries, those dams decay. The wetlands dry up, rivers become more prone to flooding and erosion. The very hydrology of the continent was altered.
So you have this cascading effect. A fashion trend in Paris and London leads to geopolitical conflict between the French, the British, and their respective indigenous allies in the Ohio Valley. The competition for fur-rich land was a direct cause of larger conflicts like the French and Indian War, which was essentially a world war fought on North American soil. The beaver pelt wasn't just a commodity, it was a resource that empires were willing to go to war for.
It truly was. And by the time the fashion changed in the 1830s with the rise of the silk top hat, the damage was done. The beaver was nearly extinct in many regions. Entire indigenous societies had been irrevocably changed or displaced, and the political and physical map of North America had been redrawn. It's a stark reminder that the pursuit of a single resource can have consequences that echo for centuries.
A continent remade, all for a hat. A powerful and sobering piece of history. Lex, thank you for shedding so much light on this. It was incredible.
My pleasure, Elias.
That's all the time we have for today on EnfinityCast. Join us next time as we explore another corner of our endlessly complex world.